This episode of TechZilla is sponsored by Netflix, Domain.com, and GoToMeeting.com. Coming up on today's show, universal remotes, router recommendations, remixing your favorite video game soundtracks, and a lot of help with standard definition video TVs. Use an oven mitt to get that hot pocket out of the microwave so you don't burn your fingertips, because TechZilla's starting right now. Welcome to TechZilla. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Veronica Belmont, or is that Robert Heron?
Robert? You're Robert? That's a new look for you, Robert. You're shorter.
Yes, a few eagle-eyed viewers noticed that I was incorrectly listed in last week's show credits, or either that I actually am Robert who got too many hormone treatments. I'm not really sure if that's any better, but hey, you know, the whole gender thing. Probably should quit while we're ahead, huh?
Or behind, as the case may be.
Awkward. Yeah, no love for me.
Oh, are you on crack? Did you not see the 4,200 emails from legions of Veronica admirers with their torches running for my cubicles talking about how wireless networking is the standard for home theater PCs?
Woohoo!
Whatever. Look, frankly, like I said last week, a lot of folks I know are hardwiring their networks and using Wi-Fi just for notebooks. What can I say? I roll with a bunch of freaks. No? Not happy yet?
No, that's okay.
Maybe Danny let you ride his not a Segway home.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'd be totally okay with that. But anyhow, we should probably get to work. That'll be my prize for doing a job well done today.
Keep your energy up.
Ice cream and Segway.
Ooh, so now you want a Segway ride, a not a Segway ride, a DIY Segway ride, and an ice cream. And suddenly there's going to be an ice cream.
I can't have both of those things?
And then a pony, and then a new
Ooh,
Glock.
Pony?
Actually.
Anyhow, we should talk about
that.
that.
Segway, a Glock, and an ice cream. That is a fun Friday night.
My idea of fun, anyway. So we should have that why do the new MacBooks not have FireWire discussion, probably.
Let's just no. I don't want to get into that one.
No?
The new MacBooks don't have FireWire. You're either really pissed off about it or you don't care, and it's a very personal, I think it's a personal thing. It's a personal decision.
Yeah, people are pretty upset about it, though.
Violently angry in some cases.
Really angry, like not going to buy Apple product anymore angry.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Like, I give up, fine, you're not going to give me FireWire.
Yeah, and I wasn't, yeah, I'll believe that when the MacBook sales are down.
I know. It's just a little bit surprising, but you know, Steve Jobs is very adamant. It does have USB 2.0, which he thinks is definitely up to snuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I remember a turning point in Apple, right? In Apple honesty was the day they admitted that they were moving to the Intel processors, and they'd spent years pumping into the Apple dedicated audience that the G4 and the G5 was all that humanity would ever need, and benchmarks are unfair, we're faster, and then they were like, yeah, you know, it was just, you know, I mean, it's, you know what, most people don't use FireWire, period. You know, even I would say within the Apple community, outside of professional developers, most people don't use FireWire, and they eliminated parts costs from the notebooks to maximize profit by reducing parts count.
Well, I think that's a pretty good reason in my mind.
Yeah, but if you want to, like,
I think you stated that pretty well.
A few $100 for the FireWire drives, you're probably pretty miffed.
Yeah, but hey, we should get to answering some questions. And last week we were helping out Alistair with his question about finding a good roundup of SDHC cards, so he knows what the best brand and model out there is for his camera. Well, leave it to our tireless and so helpful viewers to write in with their suggestions. Peter in Denmark wanted to let us know the performance of SD and CF cards depends on both the card and the device you use it in. The fastest card in one device may not be the fastest card in another device. Rob Galbraith has done a really good job of testing most cards in a number of cameras. Head over to www.robgalbraith.com to learn more. Peter in Copenhagen, Denmark.
So we checked out the site. It's pretty amazing what you find there. There are so many variables that determine the performance differences between flash memory and the device, memory controllers in the card, the camera, the speed of the memory used in the flash memory. It's a pretty interesting list. This page is something you should really check out if you're curious about the performance between a given card and camera. Great find, Peter. Thank you so much for sending this one in. And now a message from one of our sponsors, GoToMeeting.com. It's hard to imagine how we ever did business without the internet, email, cell phones. From the makers of GoToMyPC Remote Access comes another amazing technology that will change the way you do business. GoToMeeting, the easiest and most affordable way to hold online meetings. Here's how it works. Schedule a meeting in advance or on the fly. Everyone logs on to GoToMeeting.com during your conference call. Now they see your computer desktop on their computer screen. Plus, we plan on having another Tekzilla and System GoToMeeting meeting. A meeting where you'll get a chance to chat with the production staff that make Tekzilla and System happen. So get ready by signing up for a trial account. And the best part is you can try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. Just visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Tekzilla. That's GoToMeeting.com, promo code Tekzilla. Please support Tekzilla by supporting our sponsors.
Welcome to this week's freebie download pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week's pick comes from our very own intern, Daniel Fukuba, MKN Task Explorer 5. Windows Task Manager is indispensable. System acting funny, app locked up, not sure what's eating all your CPU cycles? Initiate a 3-finger salute and Windows Task Manager comes to the rescue. But what do you do if you're tired of the same old interface or want more than the Task Manager can provide? Well, you step up to MKN Task Explorer 5. Task Explorer 5 is a Task Manager replacement that takes it up a notch and sets a dial firmly at 11. Like the Windows Task Manager, Task Explorer shows detailed information about your system, but it goes even further, providing detailed info about each process, including performance and memory graphs, DLLs loaded, threads, and access token. For example, each process is presented with data about each module the process is using, its threads, their individual performance data, and possible errors. You can even stop and resume processes without putting the system's stability at risk or losing data. Task Explorer 5 also provides intuitive graphs showing not only the CPU usage history, but its kernel time and DCP time as well. Small widgets like memory usage and CPU performance can be undocked from the application and redocked anywhere on your screen for convenience. Task Explorer isn't for average Windows users, but if you feel constrained by Windows Task Manager and you think you can handle the power, then you need to check out MKN's Task Explorer 5.
Ready for another question?
I am indeed.
How exciting. Donovan writes in, I saw both the Asus eBox and the Dell Studio Hybrid on your show last week. Got me thinking. I'm looking to have a PC on all day with low heat emissions that can share files from a Drobo, run a BitTorrent program, and play video on my TV. Would an eBox running Windows XP be powerful enough to do all that? And what is the best way to hook up a new computer to a standard def television?
Very interesting, yes. Well, the eBox should be powered enough to do all that, Donovan. It doesn't take that much to power BitTorrent or share files, though big file transfers might whack your processor a bit while you're watching TV. It's getting video from the ePC to your standard def TV that might be a pain. Lots of older video cards are out there with S-video outputs, of course, but most newer products pretty much ignore HDTV. And most S-video USB devices, the kind of external thing you need for a tiny case like the eBox, are capture only. Little bitty. You'll probably have to go with a VGA to S-video adapter box, also known as a scan converter, after you put a VGA adapter on the DVI output on the eBox.
Like bing, bing, bing.
It makes sense if you think about it. Don't cheap out on the converter if you can. The less you spend, the uglier the output tends to be, unfortunately.
Something we'll talk a little bit about next week is Drobo, who makes the Drobo storage device, who also do the Drobo share that it basically turns it into an internet-hosted a NAS, right, the network adapter for the Drobo. They actually just released a platform for adding plugins to the Drobo, which is running Linux, so you can do a lot. You're not going to be able to play TV off of it, but it does actually allow you to run BitTorrent client file sharing. So that might also be sort of half an option for you.
Ooh, Drobo is to hotness.
Yes, it is.
To hotness.
To hard to kill.
To hard to kill?
To hard to kill.
To hard to kill hotness.
All right, we got an email coming up for you. This one comes from Andrew.
Hi Patrick and Veronica. I have a BenQ G2400W monitor with HDMI. I was looking for a way to watch my standard analog cable input over the monitor. Any information you could provide would be great. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
Hey Andrew, well first of all, this is going to sound totally weird, but you look exactly like my little brother, like exactly. But my brother has an old eMac, so you're clearly not him. Anyhow, if you want to use your BenQ monitor to watch your analog TV, you're probably going to need to spend some cash. You can buy an ATV 3900 video up converter, which will take the input from your TV and output it to HDMI. However, that particular box will cost you about $700. Yeah, at that point, you're just probably better off getting a new TV. This is an example, but this is something you'd want to look for if that's the route you're going. We also don't know if you're running a Mac or a PC, but if you don't mind leaving your PC on when you're watching TV, you might want to try a TV tuner for the PC itself, like one of the Elgato devices or a WinTV. They'll also give you some DVR functionality to your PC. The WinTV is around $149 to $199, and the Elgato is about the same. So it'll actually be cheaper to go that route than have to buy the video up converter.
Well, it's also, you know, it's like you got standard cable, and if you got a coax, you're not going to have a TV. You probably don't have a standard TV tuner in it. His monitor, most HDTVs still have an S-video or a composite video input. So with the regular HDTV, no problem, just plug it in and deal with the glorious upscaling of standard definition television to 1080p, which can be pretty ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you don't have a standard F input, it gets a lot more complicated.
Absolutely. Now, if you want to get your 15 seconds of internet fame, send us a video. All you need to do is record yourself in front of a video camera asking a question no longer than 15 seconds. Then upload them to YouTube and email us a link with video question in the subject line and no attachments, please. Okay, thanks, bye.
Oh, and you know what we should point out?
What?
No video attachments for the video questions. If you want to send us pictures or JPEGs, because somebody's like, I created a Flickr account so you could access these pictures and they had attachments. We just don't want giant video attachments, pictures and stuff like that.
Good point.
Are fine. Let's take a moment now to thank one of our sponsors. These are the folks that help us bring the show to you every week. Domain.com. Techzilla fans, we got another lucky winner to announce for the Domain.com Apple gift card giveaway. Congratulations to Robert J. of Phoenix, Arizona. He used the coupon code TECH1, saved 25% off his order, and scored a $500 Apple gift card at Domain.com. Now it's your turn. There's only one more drawing left, so get over to Domain.com for your domain registrations, transfers, and web hosting needs, and you can be automatically entered into the Domain.com giveaway. There's no limit to the number of entries, and domain names start at under $7. Time is running out. Do us a favor and visit Domain.com to enter to win. See the rules and enter the giveaway at www.domain.com/Techzilla. And remember, use the coupon code TECH1. It helps us out and you'll score 25% off your order for all Domain.com purchases. And don't forget to make your domain registrations private with Domain.com's cheat Who is Privacy. Got a great idea? It all starts with a great domain, Domain.com. Support Techzilla by supporting our sponsors. Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of, a website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, OCRemix.com. Are you a bigger fan of a game's soundtrack than the video game itself? Do you catch yourself humming the tune to Zelda in World of Warcraft? Have you ever attempted to recreate the score of Final Fantasy VII on your 12-year-old Yamaha upright piano? Then you definitely need to surf on over to OCRemix.com. It's a website dedicated to showcasing custom arrangements and remixed versions of your favorite video game music. This nonprofit site was created by David Lloyd, aka DJ Pretzels, as a place to appreciate, preserve, and interpret the different styles of video game music. Looking for a reggae version of Zelda? A waltz-inspired Doom 2 melody? You'll find it here. Plus, you'll find a huge selection of free video game music available for download. If you fancy yourself a composer or aficionado, you can also submit your own music as well as chat and post messages in this little community. And if you're lucky, you just might run into George Sanger, aka the Fat Man on the boards, the man who composed music for over 200 computer and video game titles, including The Seventh Guest, Wing Commander, and Maniac Mansion. He's a member and contributor to the site. So if you're interested in hearing new takes on all your old video game soundtrack favorites, do yourself a favor and check out OCRemix.com. You just might never leave. Up next, Universal Remotes.
Yes, Matt in Bayonne writes, I'm a little stumped on universal remote controls. I would love to find one that will power all of my units, including my HD projector, HD DVR cable box, surround sound, and a PS3 for Blu-ray. Anything between $100 to $300 is fine.
Good. That's actually
That's a pretty decent range.
That's a pretty good range, and it's a really good budget because, okay, the Harmony 1000 is a little out of control because of the big LCD screen, but most universal remotes are around $200.
Yeah, they came down in price because in my mind, I was remembering like the Harmony 1 going for like way more money than it is now.
I think you've just been
shopping for cars.
Did it have a huge
price drop, or did it? Yeah, I've got the.
There's been a price drop, but it was never as expensive. You were like, it was like $4,000.
No, I wasn't saying that.
You were like, it was $700.
I could have sworn it was up to $700. $700 at one point, but that could have been years ago.
Maybe on the eBay.
Anyhow.
So we're going to brazenly assume you're looking for more granular control than what's available on your existing, cable, television, projector, surround sound remotes, because just about every remote out there can do some sort of universal control of other consumer electronics devices in the play, pause, fast forward, remote, volume areas. Big names in the consumer market area, and I say consumer because there's a lot of high-end universal remotes that require professional installations, lots of control systems, wiring your house or unwiring your house. We're just going to leave those aside because they cost a lot of money and they take a lot of time. You're thinking Logitech's Harmony, Universal, and Monster still has a couple of remotes out there that are very highly rated. I'm a huge fan of the Harmony remotes. Logitech owns them now. The Harmony One gets the most attention, but the 720 can still be had for about 60 bucks cheaper, 130 bucks at Amazon, has most of the features of the One, including a nifty color LCD screen. The Harmony 1000 I'm holding right here is slick, but I'd rather have one of the wand style remotes since this thing pretty much takes 2 hands to operate, and the giant LCD screen where everything goes on is kind of non-tactile. So you have to look at it to use it, really.
I've always had a problem with ones that are laid out this way. Same with the Sonos device that we have at home. I just don't like this kind of square brick style remote control. I mean, it's okay, but I still prefer to have the regular slim kind of stick control. Yeah,
I won this one in a poker game. Otherwise, I never would have spent. It's a long story.
Things you learn about people.
Programming your devices can take some time. Even with Harmony's cool web-based programming tools, you basically answer a series of questions. You may have to tweak things a bit. Getting my TV and satellite box working together right took 4 attempts that added an extra half hour to a process that took about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. Once I got things sorted, though, basically everything's controlled by activities on the Harmony remote. So I hit the Watch TV button, my DVR, my TV, and my speakers all fire up. Joy and other happy noises result. I like the activity-based controls that automatically turn everything on and off. I only wish I had remotes for my lights, so that when I choose an activity, the lights would softly dim and I would have the perfect sort of viewing environment.
Yeah, one thing that I'm concerned about is that he has the PS3, and I don't believe you can control, actually I'm positive you can't control the PS3 with a universal remote because it's Bluetooth. It's not, there's no IR port there.
There's a reason we didn't mention the name of any of his stuff except for the PS3.
Right.
Because the fabulous Bluetooth-based remote control is a pain in the ass. Almost all consumer electronic devices, DVD players, VHSs, surround sound CD players, blah, 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 use line-of-sight IR remotes. The PS3 uses Bluetooth. Tekzilla viewers have nothing but love for the IR2BT and the Nyko PS3 adapters. Okay, nothing but love and one gripe. You won't be able to power the PS3 on or off with the adapters, but you'll be able to, do all of the basic Blu-ray remote controls.
You know what I still do though? Even though I have the remote control for the PS3, I still point it at it every single time. Like I still do try to oh, get out of the way. It's like, no, it's dummy. It's Bluetooth. It's not going to make a difference. You could point it at the frickin', at your tush for all you care. It would still do the same thing.
Or for all it cares.
Or for all it cares. That's true.
Although the IR, well, actually you would have to point it with an IR adapter. Because you need to go from the IR adapter to the IR receiver to do the Bluetooth
But I mean,
conversion.
I'm talking about the standard PS3 remote, which I use
In
for
which case
Blu-ray
you can
viewing.
point it anywhere you want.
I know. Time now for our Netflix-sponsored movie pick of the week, Air Guitar Nation. Yeah! I did it and I know you did it too. Cranking up your favorite tune and rocking out in front of the mirror, playing air guitar. In this spectacular documentary, we see Average Joe turn into a headbanging, leather pants-wearing air guitar-playing rock star. The movie culminates in Finland as air guitarists from around the world do battle to claim the title of world's greatest air guitar player. Contestants sweat, scream, and play that invisible guitar, while a great soundtrack featuring Motorhead, The Hives, and Queen adds urgency to their quest. This movie is a delightful mix of performance art, energy, and rock and roll sewn together, so put Air Guitar Nation in your Netflix queue and get inspired to rock it out in front of the mirror with your mighty imaginary axe. And don't forget to check out the other 90,000 titles available at Netflix, including lots of free Blu-ray titles with free shipping both ways to your home. And because they now have over 40 shipping centers, almost all deliveries happen in just one business day. The Netflix plans start from $4.99, but as a new member, you can get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership. Check it out at www.netflix.com/Tekzilla. So I did a silent air guitar competition back in the day, 2 years ago.
That was the first time I ever heard about you.
Really?
I got forwarded as, dude, check out the woman that produces the show, and it was like a link to you with this whole 60s
Yeah, I had
headband,
I was trying to be
thing.
like Jimi Hendrix, so I had like the bandana, and then
There was a distinct
it was really
resemblance.
funny. I know, totally, right? And then I got down and like I did the whole like burning fake guitar thing. It was really involved, and I beat Zoddy from Epic Foo, and I beat Casey McKinnon, and who else did I beat? I beat Mickey Krimmel, and I beat Sarah Myers. So, pew pew. No, that was so long ago. I'm just joking. That's the only thing I can hold on to at this point. That's the only win I've had in recent memory. So I gotta milk it for all it's worth, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Let's move on.
I think we have time for a couple more questions, Veronica, don't you?
In fact, here's a question from Ethan we want everybody out there in the audience to help us answer. He says, I just got Fios in my house and I've been using the wireless router Verizon gave me while I procrastinate about getting a good router. Today I saw that my signal strength was only 50% in the next room, so I finally broke down and decided to email you. So, what is the best router for getting through multiple, let's assume lead, walls? Is that healthy? Lead?
Lead walls?
Yeah.
You live in an old apartment building in San Francisco.
Is that like chips? Like you're not supposed to eat those, right?
Yeah, don't
Okay.
eat. Basically, in your apartment
Oh.
building, don't scrape the paint off and eat it.
Okay. Paint chips.
Which, you know,
Delicious.
you laugh about, but I am actually having to
No, you have a baby,
large
so
parts
that's
of my
different.
apartment because he's like,
Unless my cats start like scratching the walls, I mean like
you could always even build a windsurfer parabolic booster
Ooh.
and slip it over the nubby antennas on the back of your router, assuming of course it has those little antennas on the back. It is amazing what they did for Wi-Fi in my old house, which, much like yours, was built out of lead
Wait, what
and
are
hate.
these?
Basically, that's a parabolic reflector.
Uh-huh.
You print out a sheet of paper. You put glue on it, you
Mm-hmm.
slap a piece of aluminum foil down that, you cut out in the outline, and it creates a parabolic reflector.
So you're
that
just
you
like
can
funneling the signal in that direction, kind
basically
of magnifying
the signal,
it?
yeah, basically the signal goes, basically it grabs all of the signal to the parabolic and reflects it to the antenna.
So paper, just regular old paper is okay?
Paper with aluminum, paper, glue. This
Glue.
is
Okay,
my
this is the
universal
universal
signal
signal
for
for glue.
Apparently, I'm thinking of contact cement that you spray on and then you slap down aluminum onto the back of the
Oh,
paper.
okay, I mentally missed the aluminum part. I was
The
like,
aluminum
paper
foil
does
is
it?
critical.
Yes.
But literally, for a few pennies,
And then you can wear it as a hat afterwards when you're done
you
doing
can,
that
or
part.
as sort of a, you know, clock type thing.
Or as one of those guards so you don't like lick your butt after you get surgery.
The cones.
The cone.
You'd have to like, well, yeah, DIY cones in the next episode of Techzilla. Now, if you're lucky, Verizon gave you a router compatible with the Tomato firmware. If it is, I'd install that. It kept me from giving my Linksys WRT54G, my long-suffering WRT54G, to Goodwill, though I do have an 802.11 end adapter stacked on top of it. We actually walk you through installing the Tomato firmware on episode 71 of System.
Any other suggestions?
You know, it's really kind of tough. I've played around with Smoothwall a bunch, but frankly, I keep limping my old school Linksys router along. We'd love to actually hear what everybody in the Techzilla crew out there is using or wish they had the money to upgrade to.
Absolutely. So email your faves to techzilla@revision3.com and put router reco in the subject line. That's RECCO, or recommendation if you want to be fancy about it. Well, alrighty, you know, with the economy the way it is right now, it might be a good time for this question from Steven.
Uh-oh. Stephen has a fiscal issue plaguing him. Don't we all these days? He writes, do you have any suggestions for an open source replacement for Microsoft Money or Quicken? Thanks, Stephen in Norwood, Massachusetts.
Well, there are several alternatives to MS Money and Quicken that we found for you, including GNU Cash, Gnash, I'm thinking, and KMyMoney. If you've already been working with Quicken or MS Money and you want to import files to one of these programs, make sure that they support QUIF and OFX formats. That's QIF. GNU Cash supports both. It's available for GNU, Linux, BSD, Solaris, Mac OS X, and Microsoft Windows. You can use it pretty easily for personal finance or small business stuff too, and there's a full feature list on the website, including check printing, scheduled transactions, and a transaction finder, which is super helpful. Alternately, you can get on the cloud with online money managers like Mint.com or the newly free Quicken Online. Mint is definitely more for the personal side of things. It's a really great service. It keeps track of your bank accounts, credit cards, and loans, but it also gives you tips for saving money. Quicken is basically the same thing as Mint, but if you've been using TurboTax in the past, you might feel a little more secure and comfortable going with the
Quicken.
Intuit kind of thing.
How do they make their money if they're free?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Mint makes their money by suggesting ways to save money through other services.
Take this car loan.
Right, or like, you know, if you sign up for this bank account, you'll be getting a higher interest rate than this other bank account, so then they maybe get a kickback from the bank.
Got it.
That's all I can figure back, a referral type of thing. So it's a good service, actually. I really enjoy it.
You actually use that one.
I do use it, yeah. I've had pretty good luck with it so far. I'm not the best at keeping track of all my stuff myself, but it's a good step forward in the right direction. I've never heard about too many security issues with it either, so it's pretty spot on. It's got VeriSign confirmation and everything.
Yeah,
so as good as it can be, right?
Quicken is Quicken. You love it, you hate it, but it's kind of the 900-pound gorilla in this field.
Absolutely, yeah. I use TurboTax for my tax stuff myself. Although this year, I don't know. It's going to be a little more complicated than it's been in the past.
Go to an accountant this year.
Gonna go to a guy. Gonna go to a guy.
For everybody watching, we live on your questions. Do us a favor. Email us, techzilla@revision3.com. TechL, product reviews, how-tos. You ask us, we'll do our best to bring it to you. But we need those emails, so don't be shy. Send them into techzilla@revision3.com.
And even better, send us a video question. Think of all the fun you can have and the admiration of all your friends and family when they see your mug on our show. Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link and an email with video question in the subject line. And as always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forum. Find more details on the site. And don't forget to catch Epic Foo. With the U.S. economy sinking quicker than the Titanic, Epic Foo has a few suggestions to stay ahead of the collapse. The Foo of the Week is served by the creators of Ask a Ninja, the only web series that is equal parts funny and also dangerous. Watch out for that one. Brand new episodes of Epic Foo released every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Plus, if you're going to be around New York City, Tuesday, November 4th, do yourself a favor, check out Carsonified's The Future of Web Design New York. This is a conference where leading web design talent share their knowledge and insight. The show is going to be held at the Roseland Ballroom Tuesday, November 4th, which is a terrible place to see a band, but a great place to go to a web conference. For more information on what's going on at the show and purchase your tickets, check out www.futureofwebdesign.com.
Thanks so much for watching, guys.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont. Oh, and to Charlie and Jason, nuclear.
And for everybody else, you've been watching TechZilla.
Bye. I'm going to go play in the hallway now.
On the Segway?
Yes.
Actually, it's not a Segway. The Unsegway?
The Unsegway.
Wear your helmet.
I'm going to die. This is going to end up on YouTube, isn't it?
Now I'm like seeing you in one of those cones, the really sad facial expression. If Verizon gave you a router, I can't wait to see what they do with that in edit. If Verizon gave you a router compatible with a tomato.
Meow, 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 meow.
We're all like doing our Peanuts dance.
After you put a VGA adapter on the DVI, put poopy caca.
Sitting around like a loaded gun, I'm waiting to go off. All I want to do is get my rocks off, so gimme, I need some more. Yeah, it is. Who says they suck?
Oh, snap! You're going down, boy! Patrick is coming for you!
I'm gonna walk slow
you
so you have
be
lots
running.
of time to run.
You have just insulted his favorite band.
Who's his favorite band?
Black Flag.
Oh.
I just gave him a big hug. Which I think is what
That
really
wasn't
pissed
very
him off.
punk rock of you.
Actually, I think it's extremely punk rock of me.
All this hostility made me really upset. I'm very fragile, okay?
Yeah.